All the bags are off of driving, all washed up because, wow, I was a muddy mess when we got done. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Georgia Traverse routes, what we expected, what we encountered, and the gear we used. You can probably see the bike is beautifully clean. I didn't give my visor the same attention, so sorry for all the bugs. Right, the beautiful Georgia Traverse route. So we had planned it about 2 months out. At that point, 1 week before we left, there was 6 straight days of rain. 2 of them just heavy rain, a handful of them just on and off. I want to say thank you to the Facebook group, the Georgia Traverse Facebook group. I reached out to those guys and asked, hey, I'm going to be on an adventure bike. What does the water look like? Somebody just wrote it the day before and said that the water, none of it went over halfway on his Jeep's tire. So, like, good. The night before, or 2 days before we leave, there is a torrential downpour. I am just here in the middle of South Carolina, so not too far away from the start of the Georgia Traverse. So I reached back out the morning before we left. Nobody really had much to say, but we were going to do it anyway and try to just be safe. Never go over a water crossing that you're not comfortable with. So we headed out, and let's talk a little bit about the trips. For the 3 days, we had our first night was a low of 31. I think it got right down to like 29. Second one, low 40s. Third one, mid 40s. So for me, that's perfectly fine. And then the second day of our trip, in the late evening, was going to be just an absolute downpour of water. So for that, we hit a hotel. And overnight on day 2, we were going to get hammered with water. They ended up getting 3.5 inches in 4 hours. So we did dive out late in the day, grabbed a hotel, covered the bikes, and slept through that crazy rain. I've camped in worse conditions, but this trip was about the adventure, so. Well, that was pretty. I don't know what river that was. But anyway, camped in worse conditions, but we just wanted to kick back in a hotel and watch that onslaught of rain. It was crazy. So weather-wise, other than that rain, was fantastic. The days were mid-60s, really nice. Perfect riding weather as far as I'm concerned. Right, so water crossings, those type of things, talk about the terrain. It was a great ride. Whoever put the Georgia Traverse together needs to have a big old pat on the back. The route was absolutely stunning. The gravel they picked, the Forest Service roads, there's even a handful of 2-track. So absolutely stunning. They did a really good job. Thumbs up to them. Hands off to them. A big thank you to them. Because of the rain, we definitely ran into a little more mud, the Georgia clay. It didn't seem to be too challenging. It got me once, and I won every other battle than the one. The one was a bit muddy, but, you know, all in good fun. But the water crossings were all a bit high. Didn't really affect us on the Georgia Traverse side of it. I mean, it made it a lot more entertaining. We got our feet and our legs wet, but the water crossings were all very doable even after all that rain. And there's a lot less water on the last day, which was when that last rain happened, the night of the 2nd. So all was good in the neighborhood, no problems. I would recommend it for novice riders, for everybody. I am by far not a professional rider. Take a second for that to set in. I think I just surprised you there. If you watch my videos, I probably look like a professional rider. Alright, just gonna wait for that laughter to calm down. A little bit longer for your laughter to calm down. We good? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there really wasn't anything over challenging. If you just ride your skill level, don't get crazy. I'd recommend that route for nearly anybody. Gear, and here's why I kind of feel that way. My standard gear, I still haven't got my hammock out. Comment below if you want me to hammock camp, which was most of my camping history over the years. And then for the Appalachian Trail, after starting in hammocks, we changed to the tents, so we can have more communal time, listening to podcasts at night, yada yada yada. So I've been tent camping recently. But comment below hammock if you want to see a hammock on the channel. Okay. So most of the gear has been the same. I don't go anywhere without my chair or my table because, you know, you need some civilization. I was, as far as on the bike, I'm running this Scorpion MT90s, which I have very much loved and thought they did a really good job for me. And to prove that, the Pinkham Canyon Jeep Trail out in the desert in Joshua Tree, messed up thick sand. The tires did really, really good. You know, a huge aggressive tire would have been better, but very happy how these tires behaved. So the one thing I found, why I bring that up, is these are a 60-40 tire. Some might say 50-50, but a 60-40 tire. The really thick Georgia clay and the really, really muddy areas because of all the rain we had, got the bike just a few times, you know, a little movement on it, but no problem at all. You know, using the right technique, standing up, no, it was always easy to correct my way out of it. So still love the MT90s. For really bad muddy areas, I would not recommend them, but on some crazy sands, crazy sand, they did good. Water crossings, they did good, just not thick mud. So I went down in the mud once. The other times I made it all through the mud. So we can talk about the MT90s. This is going to be 3,000 or 3,500 miles with them now, but that's a different video. So even with the 60-40, nearly 50-50 tire, I made it through that just fine. You know, be safe, but no complaints there. Really, we took our time at a couple viewpoints and such, but, you know, pretty easy to make it in 3 days, and then have a lot of your last day to get back home. So tried about 125 miles a day, something like that, which really isn't too bad at all, even in some muddy conditions. Probably my favorite track so far. All the sections I've done, even the Transamerica Trail so far, that West Virginia, Tennessee area was beautiful. But overall, this track, which was the Georgia Traverse, and then we did some other things out there and hopped on the Smoky 500, but the Georgia Traverse itself, just staying on that, amazing views without leaves on the trees. Constant shots of the mountains between the Appalachian Trail, the Benton MacKaye Trail, down into the Alabama mountains, where the Pinhoti Trail is. All of that was absolutely stunning. Highly recommend it. In kind of a review, I would recommend it for almost everybody. Again, no expert addition or sides of it. The double track is respectively easy. I wouldn't worry about riding it for anybody, but if you have any particular questions below, go ahead and comments. Again, I do want to at the end here thank the Facebook club, which was really helpful with all that rain. I don't know if I would have went out without somebody confirming that the water crossings weren't like 9 feet deep. So much love to everybody. Highly recommend the Georgia Traverse. I will be doing it again, probably solo next time, maybe the opposite direction, driving back home. And yeah, if you have any questions at all, mention post below. Don't forget to leave a like, hit that thumbs up. Well, that's beautiful as well. Yeah, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up. I'm going to make sure I'm not speeding. Looks like I'm good. And we'll see you next time. Keep adventuring. Have a good evening.